Let's go to Mark in California. Mark, you said you want to talk about Jade Helm.
Hey, David. Doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just got 2 quick points on Jade Helm. First, we know that they're lying to us. Obviously, coming from a veteran, whenever we train for climate specific. We train for terrain specific. So, I mean, if they were going to train for a Middle Eastern engagement, they'd be training in the desert.
Yes, absolutely. And they wouldn't be trying to move, they wouldn't be dressing in American civilian clothing and trying to move undetected amongst the American population. I mean, why would that be a challenge to them? And how would that possibly help them in another country? And of course, we had the video that we put up on InfoWars from someone who went to the dirty bomb drill in Richmond, California, that showed them doing crowd control and having one of the role-playing actors yell, "I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't have to listen to you." And of course, at that point, that was their cue to charge, I guess. So we know from their scenarios, we know from the way that they train and where they train. I mean, what you're talking about there, Mark, is exactly what they had somebody say when they were covering the drills a couple of years ago that they were doing. I think it was in L.A. at the time, and they had a military officer who said exactly what you said. We're going to train in the mountains if we're going to fight in the mountains. We're going to train in the desert if we're going to fight in the desert. So we train the way we're going to fight. And it's like, so why can't people understand that they're training with the police in L.A. to control civil unrest? Why can't they understand that? I mean, I've like I said before, I've been in AP Hill with Biggs. We see how they've been training. We see that they work with the police. There isn't really any difference between a militarized police or using the military as police. I mean, those are both violations of posse comitatus. That's something that everybody needs to be concerned about. Go ahead, Mark.
Also, I sent you a video. Someone got a great video off the I-15 in California. It's on the road out to Vegas, and it's a pretty notorious area right by Barstow. And there is a huge buildup. The name of the video I sent to Show Tips is Jade Helm, huge buildup. But it's a video about 15 minutes, and there's not hundreds, but there are thousands of MRAPs, thousands of Humvees, thousands of APCs, and they're staging. They're being staged for something, and this is not a rapid deployment base at all. I mean, they're being staged for something in California.
Well, you know, and that's my concern. I said this before. I believe that this mad rush to try to get MRAPs and APCs into police departments, even into the smallest, most peaceful rural communities, pushing out all the stops to try to get these in, I think that is advanced placement to try to get these things in those areas. You're talking about something completely different, I understand, but I think even that is a pre-positioning of military assets into these areas. And I think it's very interesting to understand that it was just last summer that they shut down a 60-year-old program to provide that kind of equipment to rural fire departments because they wanted to get it in the hands of people who had arresting capability. That's exactly what they said in the Section 1033 program. They wanted to get it in the hands of people who had arresting power. So they would take it away from the firefighters. Nevertheless, they will tell you that this is there for some kind of a natural emergency or something like that. Simply don't buy it. Just like people don't buy what's going on with Walmart. There's something screwy about these Walmart closures. Everybody knows that they're lying to us. We don't know exactly at this point what the lie is. That's why people are starting to guess about it. But the same thing happens with the government. We know when they're lying to us, and that's when we start doing the investigation. The last caller that we had was talking about a massive buildup of MRAPs, APCs, things like that on Highway 15, California, kind of heading from California out to Vegas. And as Joe Jennings was talking about, he says he's driven down that highway many times because it's absolutely desolate. And if it's the route that I took from L.A. to Vegas, yeah, it is. There's nothing out there. So it's pretty interesting to see that clip. If that's the one that he was talking about, it seemed to be the one he was talking about. And, of course, that's not too far from the area in Southern California that they showed as being part of the Jade Helm exercise. So,
yeah, it's Indiana. Sorry, we had that problem.
Oh, okay. Indiana. Okay, go ahead.
But in southern Indiana, 30 miles north of Louisville, Kentucky, there is an HIV outbreak. Governor Pence has already stated that it's a state of emergency for that county. Now, they've erected a brand new fence around the National Guard that you cannot see through now. But if you get up on top of a building, you can look in there and you can see anti-personnel armament they're building up with sound cannons and water hoses. Now, the sheriff has leaked the information out that he's been taken out of power, that somebody's coming in and took him away from his desk.
Now, where is
So
this? This is in Indiana. Tell me the city again.
Scottsburg, Scott County, Indiana.
Scottsburg.
Now, there was a story about it on AP yesterday, and today the story's gone.
Huh.
So it makes me think that they're blacking out the story.
Wow.
That was on the news I seen Friday. That's my old hometown. Well, 7 miles west in a town called Maryville, there's supposedly a church Christian camp, but it has a 20-foot fence around it that you can't see through. And they just built an airport there right inside that compound. I'll call it a compound because that's what it is. They've created a huge concrete structure and an underground. They're digging. I don't know what they're doing there, but they're digging. And there's an airport. Now, people have said that they're going to start marching the streets soon. It's already, the CDC says it's a state of emergency, and the governor has declared a state of emergency. So the people are saying that it's going to be martial law.
Did you say it was an HIV outbreak that they're saying?
HIV outbreak, yes. AIDS outbreak.
That's very unusual. That's very unusual.
29 cases this year.
Yeah, but still, I mean, that's not the sort of thing that's going to be so easily transmissible that they would set up some kind of a quarantine area.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And supposedly FEMA's been going around house to house asking questions. You know, do you have clean needles and things like that? They shut down the needle bank.
Okay, we got it pulled up. Indiana governor extends public health emergency. Yeah, we see that there. We're going to have to take a look at that. Thank you for pointing that out. I hadn't seen that.
You are watching the InfoWars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. And your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.